Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Full Damage. There's a massive hole here on the Mindcrack Season 5 server. Let's grab some dirt and fill this in real quick. Somebody creepered something around here. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh god, all the water making it really hard to fill in. Let's get in there. Get in there. Just need to do that. Excellent. Okay. Good. So I'm thinking today, we are over here at our real town, RP town thing. I'm thinking today we should get set up with the basics, food and the like. So, let's make ourselves a hoe, because that is a thing that we will need. That's a pick. There we go. Okay. Yay, time to farm. I've never had that achievement before, apparently. Interesting. So, let's head down to the river. Because obviously we can't, as we discussed like in the previous episode, we can't move this water without it, like, quote-unquote, disappearing. Our water sources have to be connected to the river somehow. So, let's get a little bit of land here. And we're going to have to make some kind of farm actually on the river itself, which isn't a problem. Apologies if you're getting some frame rate issues. I seem to be for some reason. I'm dropping a couple of frames. I'm not entirely sure why. But for right now, let's do that. That is our farm. Okay, excellent. The other things we kind of want to start doing are things like a tree farm, and we're going to need a sawmill. The reason we'll need a sawmill is so we can cut our logs into planks, because obviously if we're doing this kind of like a real town would need a sawmill to cut logs into planks. So, let me get a position for that, and we shall work out what we are going to do. Oh, excellent. I've got a whole bunch more seeds. Let's go plant those. Do 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 do. I want to get my food supply up, and I think we're gonna need wheat to feed animals. That's another rule we're gonna self-impose. There we go. Okay, so this is the beginning of the sawmill here. Still needs a roof, but the structure is looking okay. You can see some redstone under there. So, in fact, I do need to invert the redstone. Hang on. Doop. Let's place a... let's just do a piece of dirt for now, I guess, because I don't have anything else. Okay, that's better. Right, I do need to do some tidying up as well, but everything should be roughly hidden. Anyway, so the idea is that we have our saw here, which will saw logs, will feed logs into here, or this is all roleplay, I guess. We'll feed logs into here, they'll be turned into planks here. All the planks, now this is actually another self-imposed rule that I'm going to do. We can't store stuff in chests, like say plant plots or flowers or seeds. We could store those in chests, but for like a block of wood or a stone block or whatever, or blocks of dirt, we can't really store those in chests. They're because chests are only one block big, and obviously if you want to put some stuff in that's a block big, you can only put one in. You know what I mean? So we're gonna physically store items, is what I'm trying to say here. So the idea is that the logs will be stored into planks, and then we can essentially roll the planks over this edge and slide them into this holding area where we'll store our planks, and we'll say like we can only have X amount in there before it becomes too cumbersome to slide them in. Like we can't lift them up 10 blocks high and have a huge pile of planks. We could only lift them up a couple of blocks. That kind of stuff. So we're going to have an area, I think it's about 5 by 5. I'm going to build some walls and stuff to like physically store them, or maybe we'll build some walls. I don't know yet. But we're going to have an area that's 5 by 5 or so to essentially store our planks. And everything's going to have a roof over it, because obviously we don't want our planks to get wet. But as for actually making planks, now obviously we can't actually physically saw the logs and roll the planks over there. We have to use a crafting bench, because that's how Minecraft works. So, under here, we have a crafting bench. But because our generator, our furnace, our coal power plant thing that we built last episode is off, we don't have access to it. So essentially, the sawmill is off. We can't use the sawmill because we have no power. So, if we go... Do I have any coal lying around? I don't think I do. I have some coal ore. Let's break down some of this. I need to start thinking about a mine too, because I'm going to go through this quite quick once we have everything running. Let's jump up here. No, let's not jump up anywhere. Let's put this in here. Okay. And let's turn on our generator. Or not. Interesting. Why aren't you working? Are you full there? No, I don't think so. Are you doing something? You don't have anything in there. You don't have anything in there. Uh-oh. Is it broken again? Still 19. I think something broke it again. Oh! Yeah, okay, I'm not starting it correctly. So we need to press the button to put a piece of coal into the machine, and then we need to light it to start it. Okay, so now we are generating power. So you can see our redstone line here is now turned on, which means over here we now have access to our crafting table. Sorry, I drew a complete blank there. We have access to our crafting table. We may need to fix this and make it a little bit better. I just kind of wanted to hide the piston. Maybe we'll incorporate the piston into the design somehow. But essentially that's the idea. If we don't have enough power, we can't use a sawmill. As the sawmill doesn't actually function as a sawmill, we can't use whatever is here to make the sawmill work. You know, that's kind of what I'm trying to say. It's you understand, hopefully, probably, maybe. Obviously we could go around and like craft logs or craft plank like that, but that's not going to be the spirit of things. If we want to craft planks, we have to come over to the sawmill and we have to use the sawmill to make them. And then, like I said, obviously once we have the planks, they will be like here in our mind, and we slide them in our mind over here, and then we go ahead and we can store them along here. That's basically the idea. Yeah, hopefully it works. We'll see. I just have a whole bunch of like dirt and stuff that we're going to need to store somewhere. Somebody asked also in the comments about this hopper here, why it existed essentially. The reason why that exists is so that any coal that comes into here is counted as waste, and it's just stored in here. The reason it's stored in here is just because it can accept the items as they drop down. We don't have to just have a line of hoppers into a chest or whatever. We can just have that, and boom, it's done. And it's also a good amount of storage, and it's all that kind of stuff. The idea being that once this is full, so once this triggers this and turns off the power generation, then we have to clean that out and physically store the coal blocks that is created from that. Somebody also suggested something like using netherrack. That's a good idea. But the reason I went with coal is obviously the thematic thing that coal actually burns. But you could say the same thing is true about netherrack and stuff. But coal is less abundant than netherrack. Like I could go into the nether, I could run around with a pickaxe and get enough netherrack to last me forever and not have to worry about it. Coal, on the other hand, is a little trickier. I have to actually go strip mine for it. It's another thing, like creating a mine is another thing we could do realistically. Yeah, it's just, and that's the kind of reason I went with it. Originally, I did want to go with logs, because then logs would turn into charcoal, which was kind of like, it has that progressive stage, like netherrack would do. Netherrack turns into nether brick. The logs would turn into charcoal. Unfortunately, the charcoal we wouldn't actually be able to store, because you can't turn charcoal into coal blocks. So we wouldn't have essentially a landfill site, which we're going to end up with this coal generation, which is kind of what I'm interested in seeing, and how kind of big that gets. We may have to like store. We're going through that quite fast. Jesus. Is it really 8 minutes? It can't be 8 minutes. It's meant to be 8 minutes. But for sure it's not. It's just ticked again. It's not even been... It's maybe like a minute? Because that was maybe about 30 seconds. I wasn't actually counting, which was a mistake. That was about 30 seconds, so double that. It's maybe a minute. I need to slow that down a lot. Anyway, that's kind of what we're going for at the moment. I'm going to work on some other things, and I shall be back with you guys in a second. Okay, guys, let us make a sign real quick. I say real quick, as we're in the roleplay village, roleplay town, real town, whatever. We need to kind of do it properly. So, let's get some coal. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. And let's put just a couple of pieces in there for now. Trigger one in. Light our system. And that should have our sawmill, quote-unquote, powered. Excellent. So, make ourselves a sign real fast. And then, obviously, all of our planks need to come over to here. We'll keep... I need 6... 7, 8? I think I need 8. There we go. Planks. It's so silly. We can use this crafting table for other stuff too, because why not? So let's make some sticks. Whoops. And make some signs. Good. I don't remember if I changed this. I know it was at the wrong speed. It was too fast, I think. I may have changed that already, though. So we need to decide how much power this thing uses. Like, this produces 100% power. Okay, every generator we have will produce 100%. And then, like, say if we have 4 generators, each generator will produce 25% of our total power generated. That kind of stuff. We need to know how much this uses. So say we've got 100% being generated. If we use 50% for this, then we will have another 50% from this generator to use for other devices. I think that's a good estimate to use, as around 50% for this. I mean, it's quite a hefty building. It's like a giant sawmill and stuff. So yeah, I'm thinking we'll say this is... We're going to have a list of what the power is being for. So we're going to say sawmill... let's call it 40%. We'll probably work out some kind of rule to balance it at a later point. Done freaking out? Jesus. Okay. So yeah, we'll call it 40% for now. Maybe we'll work out some rule to balance it, like I said, and we'll deal with that when that comes. Let us have a snack and check out whatever this is. It just kind of appeared between, well, it's been several days actually, but it's kind of appeared. I'm not really sure what's going on. I think are these trees new? I know there were some trees here. I don't think there was this many, though. We may have a neighbor. Because I remember there being these trees without their leaves on them. I don't know who is in this area, though. Oh, there is some chests, too, as well. Etho's leaf foot. Ah! Okay, this is where Etho is making leaves. I understand. I understand. Okay. Hi, Etho. Smiley face. Kiss. Whatever. Yeah, we have this thing. It's plain with sugar, icing, yum. I'm not entirely sure what it is. It's got skeletons in it, apparently. Listening to it. It might be a prank. I don't know who's a prank to. The sign's on that side. I mean, it's next to Etho's leaf farm. But sure. I may be spoiling something. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, let us head on over to the Bling Tower, because I know Ori gave a thing for us to have there. So let's go and do that. Obviously, we need to use the new temporary control room, as the old one is still broken. Need to fix that at some point. Not entirely sure how to do that, though. But we'll give it a go at a later date. Let us go to the new control room here. Open up the door, fiddle with some buttons. Hopefully we can land somewhere near towards Bling Tower, maybe even inside the room. But I'm not entirely sure if the TARDIS will fit inside the room. But that should do it. Let's open up the door and let's head out here. I don't know what would happen if the TARDIS tries to land somewhere where it can't fit. I've not seen that happen in the show. Mind you, I've never seen the classical stuff. But anyway, let us see where we have landed. Well, this is close. This is good enough. Right on the balcony, I guess. Is our apartment? I think this is our apartment. Excellent. Okay, that's good by me. Close the door. Did connect to the fence. That's an issue. But anyway, let us go see what Ori has left us to Adlington. Adlington, you're one of the nicest people, really. Your version of a prank was leaving adorable minions all over the server. They are adorable. I feel like we're very similar in a lot of ways. Maybe we should talk about rainbows sometimes. Anyway, thank you for all the times you've helped off camera and for your positive general attitude. Happy Thanksgiving, Ori. Oh, ain't that sweet? We should probably put that in our house or something. We shouldn't leave it here. We never come over here. Aww. Anyway, that's for Thanksgiving, because America has a different Thanksgiving than Canada. England doesn't have a Thanksgiving at all, so Thanksgiving is news to me, really. I like the view of the rail up here. Man, we need to work on that too. We need to get that done at some point. What's that? That's Vex's place? It's got some kind of... Oh, that might be his face. Yeah, I think that's his face. That's cool. There's our little robot minion from the whole legal dispute. I like the view up here. I like coming up here sometimes and seeing the view. That's the courthouse. Whenever that's done. The bridge has been repaired. That's good. That's something. Maybe that's a road that goes to Beef's place? I don't know. Yeah, I like looking at the view, the moon rising. It's pretty. Anyway, we need to do... Well, you know what I need to do really is work on the rail. That's going to take me the rest of the day, probably. Okay. Okay, I think what we'll do, I'm going to call the end of the episode here. It's a little bit of a short one, probably, but, you know, we did travel in the TARDIS, so that counts for time and space and everything. Sure, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna work on the rail the rest of the day probably, and then report back on Thursday to let you know how that has come along. If you have any ideas for the little roleplay town too, let me know. I'm open to ideas of stuff we should build there. I'm really excited to get stuff done on that. But as always, thank you guys very much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next episode.